All right, so I've been having major microphone issues this whole time as well. I literally might have actually figured out the problem. So at the back of your PCs, if you don't know, like what I'm saying, how PCs work or whatever, like there's like a tier list of USB ports. You have like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, like what I mean? You have them USB ports that are hella powerful, and you have those other ones in that, bro, that flipping pull out not what kilowatts an hour type of thing, you know what I'm saying, and that, bro. So I had it in one of the low tier USB ports. Whole time it needed to be in an S tier one. It was in like a C tier one, so that might have been the reason why it was crackling or whatever, you know what I mean? So we might have actually figured it out. Hopefully we have last reaction of the day. Freaky Air Podcaster was warned this would happen. Now I don't know if the Matrix, you know what I'm saying, has this guy, you know what I mean, trying to mess him up, and that bro doesn't want to see him catapult to certain positions or whatever, and that, bro. Because Shannon Sharpe, I've been rocking with him and that, you know what I mean, but every time you're rocking with a certain someone, you know what I'm saying, it just goes downhill for some reason. So I don't know if this is the higher ups, you know what I mean, or if this is something that he actually did. So let's get into it.
1 year before Shannon Sharpe was sued for violent sexual assault, he was warned by one of his podcast guests to stop pursuing girls that were 30 years younger than him.
You're trying to hang out with these young b****s and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Even Lil Yachty was apprehensive of Shannon's mentality towards younger women.
Y'all get to a certain age and you still like them young. You like
Yeah.
You like the same age girls I like.
Okay, right.
When you get to a certain age,
I'm getting old, but my eyesight's still young.
Shannon, who is 50.
Big man, you wear glasses, bro. Stop gassing it and them thing there, bro. No, it isn't, fam. You wear glasses, bro. 20. I don't know if that's a part. That might just be a part of the brand. There might not be prescription in that, bro, but you're wearing glasses 24/7. So either way, whether the prescription or not, bro, you wear glasses, my guy. You know what I mean? So already that statement is going downhill and them thing there from the time you mentioned that.
Never shied away from letting everyone know that he was interested in women who were younger than his daughters.
Everybody always talk about date your age. Well, I want to date my wage.
To no surprise, Shannon's reckless behavior got him in some major legal trouble.
So the only way you can date your wage is if you go out with women that are younger. That's the dumbest ish I've ever heard in that, bro. And this is what I mean in that, bro. When Shannon Sharpe talks about certain things, not even just Shannon Sharpe, just people in general, male or female and that, bro. You know what I mean? When people say, oh yeah, experience and age and and you have to be a certain age to have a certain level of experience and a certain level of common sense, that's not the case, bro. Because we got a man that's what, in his 40s 50s and them thing, they're still out here acting like a kid and that
trouble,
you know what I mean?
As he is now being sued for $50 million by a 19-year-old who claims that he R-worded her, and the evidence against him does not look good. However, there are some suspicious details surrounding this case that have people wondering if it could be a setup. The lawyer that is representing the victim was the same one who took down Diddy, attempted to take down Jay-Z for sex crimes, as well as the fact that Shannon Sharpe was just about to sign a deal that would secure him
this I've heard.
Generational wealth. And somehow, these aren't even the craziest conspiracies, which has resulted in Shannon receiving a ton of support from fans, letting them know that they are on his side. Today, we are going to clearly break down the entire story, the evidence Shannon provided to defend himself, as well as the possible conspiracies surrounding the...
Okay, not gonna lie, I understand the kinks and all of that type of stuff and that, bro, but you see I don't even care if marriage is stale, relationship is stale and that, all of that, the R word in role playing, you know what I'm saying, and that, bro, pretend that you're beating me up or kidnapping me. I'm not a part of it. I'm not a part. I don't even know why you would want to be a part of it though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always found it weird, people that commit those type of flipping atrocities and that, bro, seeing someone uncomfortable and that, doesn't that like hurt your head? Do you know how messed in the head you have to be to do something to a certain someone, see them uncomfortable and continue to do that, crying for help, and continue? Do you know how messed you have to be to ignore all of that, bro? So even in a playful way, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do it and that, fam. You know what I'm saying? So this is where it gets kind of weird and that, bro. All of them kinks, and stop kink shaming, yeah, kink shame, bro. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it be going too far, bro. And that's the thing with humanity. The more we're on this planet, the more we're gonna, You know what I'm saying? The line and that, bro, is just gonna get further and further and further away. And
Evidence Shannon provided to defend himself, as well as the possible conspiracies surrounding the case of Shannon Sharpe versus OF model Gabriela Zuniga. Celebrities have.
And she's OF as well, bro. I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm not, you get me? Because at the end of the day, doesn't matter what your background is, you know what I'm saying? You can be taken advantage of, all of that type of stuff. But it's just the signs aren't, you know what I mean? Even though some things are against him, some things are kind of in his favor as well. And that, bro, in terms of, you know what I'm saying, OF girl, the fact that he just signed a deal, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit iffy on her side as well.
Have been using their fame to cover up bad behavior for decades.
I don't know anything.
But at the same time, being famous also makes you a target. When you've got money and a platform, there's always going to be someone looking to take advantage of that. And while every situation should be looked into carefully, once the allegations start stacking up, it gets hard to tell if this is an obvious pattern of bad behavior or people looking for a payday. In light of the new allegations, countless media outlets resurfaced a 2010 restraining order that Shannon Sharpe's ex-girlfriend filed when she accused him of R-wording her, then threatening her if she ever told anyone. Michelle Bundy Evans met Shannon Sharpe while working as a TV
crazy to me, bro. Because this be happening in relationships and that, bro. Like, this literally happened with a certain footballer. I ain't even going to bring up his name and all of that, bro. But there was a whole mad situation. The guy is still a D-head for what he did and that, bro. You know what I mean? And still somewhat scum of the earth and that, bro, but they're still together. So now they're together and that, bro. People are like, see, what do you mean see? It doesn't matter if they're together, they're not together and that, bro. At the end of the day, he did what he did. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, he gets booty,
girlfriend filed when she accused him of R-wording her, then threatening her if she ever told anyone. Michelle Bundy Evans met Shannon Sharpe while working as a TV sports reporter in 2002. We met in the press room at the Broncos in April of 2002, but we didn't start dating until we met at the Club Blue 67 in Denver. He started pursuing me heavily. I resisted for a while because I was a reporter and I didn't want to mix the two, but he's very charming. At that point, Shannon was near the end of his football career. He spent 14 seasons in the league, mostly with the Denver Broncos, where he helped deliver back-to-back Super Bowl wins in the late 90s. Then he got a third championship with the Baltimore Ravens in 2000. But Shannon's legacy did not stop on the field. He had something else that made him great: natural charisma, which made it easy for him to eventually transition into sports broadcasting. Michelle said that her and Shannon had a relatively open relationship and were constantly crossing paths in the workplace since they worked in the same industry. She says they dated for a decade until 2010 when it all came crashing down. Problems arose when Shannon told Michelle to separate from a man.
Furthermore, bro, I was just in the flipping bathroom, brother. Noticed that I think they've chilled out now. But my eyes were like bloodshot red. I was like, what the hell's going on? It happens from time to time, but the way redder than usual.
Who later became her husband.
The argument was about the fact that he had
Snow Bunny
removed
allegations
one girl from his house and put another.
Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe, you're the biggest and strongest of everybody on the list, so I'm gonna have to sentence you for 10,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man and saying that no black woman can make you happy. 10,000 lashes for Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe. Who else we got on this list?
That is crazy. That I just remembered I had that as well, and I need to cut that down. That's way too long. But I just remembered I actually had that, bro. That's crazy.
Girl in his house. And
Literally, there's no situation that can be more perfect than this right here, bro. You know,
didn't tell me. He had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating. So I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. I was like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway. It was the biggest argument that we ever got in. He was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me. And he wanted to have sex and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. He wouldn't take no for an answer.
The reporter then asked Michelle a question that many victims get when they choose not to go to the police immediately.
Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows, and he knows lots of police officers. So I didn't know that if I went down there, that would be one of the people that he knows.
Michelle claimed that Shannon continuously threatened her. He said he was going to destroy me.
You never know. Even when she was saying it like that, it sounded like she was holding back tears a little bit still. I can't even lie to you in that, fam. But it's one of them ones, like, mostly you'll never, that's the thing with dealing with like celebrities and all this type of stuff. More times you're never going to get 100% of the information. So it's like, you just got to make up your own decision. And if you want to dive deeper and try find more info, like, you know what I'm saying? And that,
So I didn't know that if I went down there, that would be one of the people that he knows.
Michelle claimed that Shannon continuously threatened her. He said he was going to destroy me, and he was going to kill me, and he told me he was watching me. In fear, Michelle filed a temporary restraining order against him, which forced him to step away from his role on CBS's NFL Today.
CBS sports analyst and former NFL tight end Shannon Sharpe took a, quote, leave of absence after accusations surfaced that he had allegedly and threatened to kill a woman. According to legal documents obtained by Sports by Brooks, Sharpe's accuser claimed that the renowned tight end, quote, forced her to have sex with him, threatens her life, and, quote, places her under surveillance and calls to say he is watching her.
After Sharpe took a leave of absence, Michelle claims that a strange man showed up to her door and intimidated her, so she dropped the restraining order. Shannon returned to CBS after the restraining order was dismissed and was inducted into
Yo, if he actually did that, bro,
Shannon returned to CBS.
If he actually did that, that is a devious flipping face, bro. No.
After the restraining order was dismissed and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame 1 year later. It's important to consider that the information
he's been on this report a TV-ish for a while.
You just learned about this lawsuit was relatively unknown in 2010. It's much more common for controversies, allegations, and lawsuits to get swept under the rug because there weren't as many people online demanding justice and holding alleged perpetrators accountable. Shannon weathered the storm, stayed quiet, and it just kind of went away for 13 years until Michelle filed another lawsuit against Shannon in 2023 alleging defamation, libel, slander, and
or he might have just done a little touch up to the original one.
Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Evans claimed that Shannon has repeatedly referenced their legal disputes on television and other public platforms, which she says has caused significant harm to her reputation. However, I could not find anything that proves that Shannon has talked about her on television. Michelle's lawsuit in 2023 got even less attention from the media than the 2010 restraining order. Therefore, this interview with The Sun is Michelle's third attempt to get justice for the R word that she claims occurred. And finally, after 15 years, Shannon's counsel has responded to Michelle. It should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. This is exactly what is happening to Shannon Sharpe, and the resurrection of the case involving Michelle Evans is a perfect example. Sadly, Miss Evans became obsessed with Shannon and decided to manufacture a claim against him. When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit. The fact is that Shannon has had no contact with this person for many years, and it is our understanding that she is still on probation after serving 3 years in prison for trying to kill her husband so that she could hopefully pursue a relationship with Shannon.
Wait, what? God damn it. This is what I'm saying. It seems like every single person that's attached to him, accusing him and that, bro, also has something booky towards the name. But like I said, just because someone did a bad thing doesn't mean something bad didn't happen to them, or, you know what I mean? Because normally that's how it works in that, bro. You know what I mean? Someone hurt someone, that hurt person then goes out and hurts someone else type of thing. But yeah, if this is true, bro, in terms of if Shannon Sharpe allegedly did what he did to my girl and them together, the way he's spun this 360 years later is crazy to me. I can't even lie to you in that. But like I said, I don't know. It's all alleged and I don't know enough information to.
As far as I can tell, Michelle is no longer pursuing Shannon legally, but media outlets are getting her side of this story today to either 1, exploit the situation for profit, or 2, report on a potential victim whose story was swept under the rug for 15 years. There was also another assault allegation brought up against Shannon that was allegedly kept quiet for many years. Ryan Glasspiegel of FrontOfficeSports.com put out a report that accused Shannon Shannon of choking a female production assistant in the workplace during his time at Fox Sports. Glass-Steagall used two different sources in support of his accusations, saying that one source said Sharpe and Fox settled with the accuser for several $1,000s. No lawsuit was filed. However, a representative for Sharpe came forward and denied any prior altercation. There was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. Although they claimed it wasn't serious, it does seem there is some truth here, or else they would have outright denied nothing happened.
Yeah, why the hell does Patrick flipping come through with a string t-shirt looking like anyone Jamaican, bro?
It does seem there is some truth
Or he's
here, or
feeling
else they
himself.
would have
Summertime
outright
coming
denied nothing happened whatsoever. But this is common whenever a celebrity is under fire. Allegations arise from their past where all of a sudden anonymous sources start remembering bad behavior. And whether they are true or not, there is no doubt that Michelle's story and others are receiving attention because of the most recent lawsuit between Shannon Sharpe and Jane Doe, whose real name was later revealed to be Gabriella Zuniga, an OnlyFans model that filed a $50 million civil lawsuit against Sharpe, accusing him of sexual assault and battery. Now, almost
Wait, did she sue him for the exact amount that he was supposed to allegedly be getting? That's crazy.
all of the information regarding this lawsuit was released to the public in the matter of like 48 hours, and all of it was extremely disorganized, out of context, and confusing, truthfully for the betterment of both parties. So I'm going to do my best to puzzle piece this together in chronological order because I believe dates are extremely important to consider here. According to her lawsuit, the two met in 2023 at a gym in Los Angeles. Gabriella claimed that Sharpe had been watching her during workouts and eventually approached her. At the time, she said she was just 19 and didn't even know who he was, just that he was another older man paying a little too much attention at the gym. She said that after repeatedly asking, he convinced her to give him her phone number. Over the next few weeks, Shannon Sharpe allegedly pursued Gabriella relentlessly. According to her, he kept approaching her at the gym and repeatedly calling and texting her, asking to meet up. She says he didn't take no for an answer, and eventually she agreed to see him outside the gym. But before they met in person, Shannon reportedly insisted she sign a non-disclosure agreement. Gabby found that off-putting and refused, even after he kept pushing. He eventually
I hear that, bro, you know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. We got certain things that are required in certain aspects, bro, or dealing with like a high profile person, dealing with like a person that might not be to their level, or you know what I'm saying, or fame and that, brother, might get into a certain situation where things can get intimate and that, brother. An NDA, there's nothing wrong with that, bro, you know what I mean? But in situations like this, I guess it kind of makes it look weird and that, brother, and shines a bad light on it because it is involved in a bad situation. But realistically, nah, an NDA isn't a bad thing. Even what do you call it? Is it prenup when you're getting married in them today? And both sides, whether it's a man making the woman sign or the woman making the man sign, and like, you know, these aren't bad things, but in certain situations like this, it can shine a bad light on the.
Dropped it and invited her to his house. However, Shannon and his legal team released text messages that seem to contradict Gabby's claims of how she felt towards him in 2023. In March of 2023, which is just 2 months after they met, Gabby sent him a message with an image of a woman wearing bondage ropes with the words, "Tie me up like this and F me," to which Shannon replies, "If I knew how to, I would." She said, "It's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now." They went back and forth exchanging kinky messages with handcuffs.
Hey, man, did this guy write a message, not put the right flipping spelling and put if with the asterisk to correct himself? Yeah, this guy, even though he responded with this and empty there, he's old school blood and that, bro. No game with the message.
We can stick to those for now. They went back and forth exchanging kinky messages when she referred back to the photo of the woman tied up and said, "I want to be in that position right now," to which he replied, "It's too late right now." This message was sent at 11 p.m. Shannon was likely tired and getting ready to go to sleep, but it seems like the 19-year-old Gabby was in the mood. Ironically, this is exactly what Monique said would happen to Shannon.
When they want you to go for the fourth round, you looking at her like, Listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on, let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter.
And I know that's supposed to be funny, but that's actually prophetic. It's wild. Another text message from late 2023 was released where Gabby wrote, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me." The two also talked about Gabby's desire to have a baby with Shannon, including her allegedly writing, "Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then you can do whatever you want to me. And I literally ate so much food, I look like I'm pregnant with your big black baby." Sharpe responded.
The flip kinda. This is what I'm saying, bro. Have some flipping dignity, man. Like, what the hell does that even? I literally ate so much food, I feel like I'm pregnant with your big black baby, bro. And this is what I'm saying about these situations with females, and that they're so good at acting in situations where they're not actually emotionally invested, but they're doing it for the bag, for the fame, for the clout. So you never really know, but they're so good at they're good at masking it with certain people. Because I feel like if I was to interact with a girl and she only wanted one thing, yeah, some people are very good at hiding things and that, but I feel like you can clock if you spend an extensive amount of time with her. Right here, we're just getting a little bit, you know what I mean? And I feel like already I'm just getting weird vibes just from the messages that is, you know.
Responded, "If I still F with you around my birthday in 24, you can IUD out." Essentially saying if they are still together in 7 months from when this message was sent, then she could stop taking her birth control and they will have a child together. To which she replied, "LOL, you're stuck with me for life. You're not going anywhere, babe." Reminder that Gabby claims in her lawsuit that around this time their relationship was rocky and on and off. She says everything was always on his terms, when they saw each other, how often, and what their relationship looked like. At first, he could be sweet and affectionate, but over time, she says his behavior changed. He became more dishonest and emotionally volatile. However, Shannon's evidence shows that they were both constantly sharing freaky messages.
Then she says, "I want to put my tongue in your asshole, then marry you." She was using her tongue like a bidet. She was a serial booty eater, a fecal matter muncher.
Gabby said she wanted some, quote, hardcore BDSM action. Shannon replied, matching her energy.
And Shannon says, "That's chocolate daddies. That's chocolate daddies slash. I'm the only one f***ing that and getting his ass ate." We all knew, come on, we all knew Shannon was into.
Gabby continuously brought up the idea of having a child, writing texts that said, "I can't wait to have a black baby." Shannon replied, "I want to F. If I was 38, I would definitely impregnate you." As she continued to press the conversation about having a baby, Shannon said,
"This guy is so flipping is so, what do you call it, them thing there, so straightforward, bro, like literally old school and that, but with the texting thing, yeah, here and on that, the game real life probably astronomically better than over text type of thing. And if even she had some dignity for herself and that, bro, she would literally realize that, yo, this person ain't for me type of thing and that, bro. Let's be honest, she's probably not actually talking about impregnating me because she actually wants a baby. She's doing that for the bread. Like, it's literally a business, and that's what I'm talking about with these females. Like me, genuinely, I feel like I could genuinely date from my age and much older. I feel like I could date any woman just based on who I am. But at the end of the day, I want children. I want to meet a woman and be able to spend like, what, 2, 3, 4 years with her and them thing there. But before we actually have children, get to know her. Like, you know what I'm saying? That, bro? So it wouldn't make sense for me to go out here to go flipping date some banging 50-year-old. Like, you know what I'm saying? That, bro? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't align with what I want in life type of thing and that, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to look for that. She should have realized that. But at the same time, I don't think she's talking about the baby for the right reasons and that, bro. You obviously know why and that, bro. It's literally a business, bro. It's sad to say, but it's a business for the ladies, man. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with women. Whether a woman wants to be quote unquote independent, do this, do that, at the end of the day, they can always fall back on being taken care of and that because they are a female. So it's like, yo, they can do this, but they always got that one thing that they can fall back on. If they do want to sell the dignity and and put their pride up for a price and that, but they can do that and them thing there. You know
Gabby,
what I mean?
you and I both know you don't want a baby. She replied, "You're the one that has a breeding kink, and I mean, I only want a baby if it's from you. I think I'd be a good mom." She continued, "I've always wanted a black baby. I want you to put a..."
this see what I'm saying? The fact that she keeps saying black baby, I don't, like I say, I don't know if this is her, but from what I'm seeing in these messages, this black baby and big black baby is a problem,
A
bro.
big black baby
It's a
inside
problem,
me.
bro.
There are droves more text messages released where Gabby brought up the fact that she wanted a baby. Some people interpret this as nothing more than kinky talk. Some think it is a weird fetish or entrapment trying to be set for life off of Shannon's
That's exactly what I think it is. A fetish and an entrapment, bro.
money, and others see this as a young girl who actually desperately wants to have a child with a man who simply wants sex. This is where Gabby claims in her lawsuit that a shift happened in their relationship. He lied about other women but still insisted they were exclusive. She claims he manipulated her, flipping between charm and aggression to get what he wanted. Around summer of 2024, Gabby claims there was a violent, aggressive, and controlling nature Shannon had that she could not escape. She describes multiple instances where he had his way with her without her explicit consent, then controlling her life, demanding where she needed to be and when. He accused her of disrespecting him, wasting his time, and warned that if she wanted to be with the Shannon Sharpe, she would have to learn obedience. Over the next year and a half, plaintiffs saw Sharpe at his house as
That's crazy, bro. So this is how the rich man be chatting and everything there. If you want to be with the Shannon Sharpe, then you got to do that. Like, you know, that's crazy. And that's one thing that people also don't realize when they say they want the 6-figure man with the 6-figure that and the 6-figure and the 6 and the 6 and the 6 and that, bro. It comes with the territory, bro. You know what I mean? So you got to get used to certain things at the same time. Obviously, every single man ain't like that and them thing there, bro. You know what I mean? But obviously, that type of man isn't available for every single woman out here and that, bro. You know what I mean? So when all the quote unquote good ones get picked and that, bro, and you get left with quote unquote man like this, allegedly, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Let me know if you still want that 6 type.
wasting his time, and warned that if she wanted to be with the Shannon Sharpe, she would have to learn obedience. Over the next year and a half, plaintiffs saw Sharpe at his house as often as 4 times a week. Sharpe continued to treat her like an object. He continued to control her, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. Gabby started sending her friends her location for her safety, and when Shannon noticed, he allegedly grabbed her by the neck and told her, "If you ever do that again, I will effing kill you." However, text messages revealed from Shannon's team that correspond to this timeline have Gabby allegedly saying, "I want to be abused, daddy," and also sent another BDSM photo and said, "I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy." Shannon moved to Las Vegas. Gabby also decided to move to Las Vegas, which some people thought was strange if she claimed that she was afraid of him, but then moved to the exact same city.
Come on now, man. I hate when people say dumb-ish like that. At the same time, bro, when you're in these situations and that, bro, you're not in the right state of mind and that, fam. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, whether it's the toxicity, the love, the manipulation, you know what I'm saying, whether it's you're that fearful that you wouldn't even dare to step out of line in any which way, and that, bro, like there's a multitude of reasons in situations like that why you would follow that said person and that, bro, whether it's a male or female type of thing. You know what I mean? So when people say, why would you follow him if you get in a it's not that flipping simple, idiot, you and them thing there, bro. People don't understand how complicated the human brain is, man. Sometimes.
She says this is when the abuse got much worse, specifically around the time that Shannon accidentally went live on Instagram during a sexual encounter with a different woman. In September of 2024, Shannon Sharpe accidentally broadcasted an intimate moment with a woman. Thousands of viewers tuned in to an unexpected Instagram live that featured audio of Shannon having intercourse with an unidentified woman. The screen indicates that the phone was just kind of resting on a table or on the bed, but the audio of Shannon breathing heavily and dirty talking was enough to tell what was going on. Also, what made this a little confusing was he mentioned the woman's name in this IG live. He said Michelle, but it was not the same Michelle that filed the restraining order in 2010. The moment was extremely
It's really cool. Of this world, blood. You're a dirty dog, man. No, these guys out here screen recording and slapping in bare laughing
viral,
emojis.
with most people just making
Blue Diamond activity.
fun of Uncle Shannon, and at first, Sharpe tried to claim his account had been hacked. However, he called ESPN to tell them the truth. "My phone wasn't hacked, it wasn't a prank, it was me being a healthy, active male." He later came clean on the Nightcap podcast, admitting the whole thing was an honest mistake.
I'm extremely embarrassed that a very, very private, intimate situation, the audio couldn't be heard. And I'm extremely disappointed in myself. 5 minutes before I came on, phone rings. It's Cat Williams. So I said, yeah, bro, what's up? The first thing out of his mouth, guess what he said, Ocho?
Oh, wow.
You ain't gay today?
However, based on text messages that Shannon revealed, Gabby was extremely upset with the situation. When I'm 152 pounds but you can't touch me because you cheated on me on Instagram Live. I'm gonna be 180 soon and you're still not gonna be able to touch me. I bet you regret your actions right about now. These text messages make it seem like Gabby thought they were exclusively in a relationship. Shannon did not give a formal reply in texts. Gabby then said, "When you give me a formal apology for cheating on me on Instagram Live and multiple other times, then we can talk." She writes, "Formal apology," in all caps. Shannon replies, "I've said sorry, Gabby." However, this is where things start to look really bad for Shannon. In her lawsuit on October 6, 2024, she says he confronted her at a gym in Nevada, visibly angry, and threatened her. "Sit the F down or I'm going to you," he reportedly said. When she tried to walk away, he told her she didn't have a choice. She told him clearly that she didn't want to speak, didn't want to be alone with him, and didn't want him coming to her home. Despite that, she says he forced her into his car and brought her back to her apartment. Once inside, he allegedly ignored her attempts to keep the conversation in the living room. He insisted on going to the bedroom. She said no, but he wouldn't listen. That's where she says he SA'd her, ignoring her tears and pleas. At one point, he reportedly said, "You've disrespected me so much, I'm going to punish this a-hole. I'm going to make it so no man will want you again." She says he R-worded her while she sobbed, and during the assault, he told her the experience gave him chills. Now, the next
The maddest thing is as well in that, bro. Once again, all flipping allegedly and that, bro. When people get into situations like this, like I said, this relationship and then activity like this is like a blurred line. I don't know what the hell be going on in man's minds or whatever in that, bro. But whether it's a thing of this is a relationship, so I'm allowed to do this, or I'm so big and I'm a celebrity and I'm this big, you know, I say person on the internet that I can get away with it. Like, I don't know what it is or if it's a concoction of that. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know what be going through people's brains. But it's like when people are in relationships and they do things like that, it's like in their minds, it's not assault. It's not our word, and it's not, you know what I mean, because we're in a relationship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people's brains just be wired very weirdly and differently.
Text messages Shannon released weren't until December 26th, almost 3 months after this alleged assault. We don't know how much or if any communication was had in between then. Gabby says, "I'm not answering your calls until you say sorry, Shannon." She says, "All you say is I'm sorry, but you never say what you are sorry for. How you gonna make it right?" She continues, "So I would appreciate if you could do that, cause you really hurt me." She continuously makes it clear that she wants an apology, to which Shannon replies, "Gabby, I'm not going through this again. Stop playing childish games." Now, we don't know if Gabby was demanding an apology for this assault that she said happened or something else, because this was 3 months later. But then things get even more strange when New Year's of 2025 comes around. Shannon texted her and said, "Happy New Year, Gabby. Can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for us." Gabby replies, "Give me $50,000 and I will let you come over to the house," and then sends him her PayPal link. He said, "I don't have Cash Apps." She said, "Then what do you have?" And he says, "I have 10K cash." Gabby replies, "Send me a picture or FaceTime me with it." It seems like Shannon did not oblige to her orders, so she texted again. "What's taking so long? You either have the cash to show me right now or you're with Michelle. Which one is it?"
Well, there's so much wrong with this flipping relationship, like on both sides and that, bro. And I got, bro, it's not even just a now thing, bro. It's from the beginning of time and that, bro. You know what I'm saying? This has been a thing from like when the fame thing gets involved and that, bro. The age thing gets involved in them thing, the clout, the fame, like the money, like
Shannon. She sends another message with a picture of her naked. "I know you miss this big, juicy $25K for each cheek." We do not know if Shannon paid the money, but they did see each other within 24 hours of this message. In her lawsuit, on January 2nd, 2025, Shannon told her he wanted to see her and remind her about a promised Christmas and birthday gift. Eventually, she agreed to let him visit her apartment, but once he arrived, things quickly turned. He began undressing and she asked him to wear a condom, hoping it might stop what was happening. According to her, Shannon refused. The more she she begged him to stop or use protection, the more aggressive he became. She says he forced himself on her again, ignoring her pleas the entire time. The last text messages that were released are from that January 2nd, 2025 night, which was the night of the alleged assault. Gabby said, "I cried when you left," 2025 night time. The last text messages that were released are from that January 2nd, 2025 night, which was the night of the alleged assault. Gabby said, "I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not to put it in my A, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this." In response to the lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe publicly denied all allegations through a statement released by his attorney. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct. The statement read. His lawyer, Lanny J. Davis, went further, calling the lawsuit full of lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and claimed it would not hold up in court. Shannon's lawyer wrote, "These messages are just a sampling of a broader pattern of graphic sexual communications initiated by the plaintiff." Davis said, "The evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, language, and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by the plaintiff." Shannon also made another public announcement denying all accusations, but instead of typing it himself, it seems like he screenshotted a text message that was sent to him, indicating that it was someone else who wrote the response. It seemed like no matter how Shannon...
Like I said, from his responses with this girls from the beginning, you can tell this guy is flipping old school and still doesn't really know how the internet fully works and that. But that's good though, because you might not be understanding the internet, be manipulating the things too much and that, bro. You get me? So hey, if you don't know really how to operate, do certain things and that, bro, it exposes you. Hey, is what it is.
Responded, it didn't exactly make him look better. And although the text messages that he released do provide a little more context, they don't exactly make him look better either. It does seem that they had a consensual relationship before the initial October 6th, 2024 assault, but the lawsuit mostly focuses on the fact that their dynamic changed after the IG Live leak in September of 2024, which Gabby deemed as Shannon cheating on her. Honestly, Shannon's text 24, which Gabby deemed as Shannon cheating on her. Honestly, Shannon's text messages that he released kinda help her narrative, because what we have, according to the text messages that he released, are seemingly a consensual back and forth for about 1.5 years, up until the IG Live leak, which is where everything changed. That's also pretty much what Gabby said in the lawsuit. And that October 6, 2024 date, where she says there was a violent assault, is really where everything changed. And again, the texts also kind of prove that. After all, just because a relationship was previously consensual doesn't mean it always is. Now, we don't know if Shannon cherry-picked text messages that make her look worse than him, or if they would actually go months without texting, because we went through almost all of the messages over the course of 2 years, which realistically were not that many texts. But we can only base our opinions on what was revealed. But knowing the dates of those text messages does kinda help, because if she claimed she feared for her life, then sent an erotic message after, that doesn't really make sense. For example, audio was released of her and Shannon's phone conversation, and without context or dates, it sounds horrible.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
You want to be a to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
You're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Yo, her whole demeanor change, bro. God damn.
Like me.
You want to be a to me.
Like get
That's
mad at,
crazy.
and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
She already sounded
What
deflated.
does that even mean?
You want to be a to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't...
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Crazy.
Yes,
the
you do.
demeanor change
You're
is
coming to LA
crazy.
tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested and getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy choke small white woman.
It's not a good look.
Wait, so he literally eggs that Ishan and that, bruv.
Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe, you're the biggest and strongest of everybody on the list, so I'm going to have to sentence you for 10,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man and saying that no black woman can make you happy. 10,000 lashes for Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe. Who else we got on this
Not
list?
a good look that you do what you did to me.
Dates are important here because if this was before summer of 2024, then some people believe this is just more dirty talk and role-playing now being taken out of context, especially the way
No, that wasn't dirty talk or any type of anything. Anyone that's saying that you're a flipping idiot and them thing, that's what I'm saying and that, bro. The lines get blurred, bro. The lines get blurred in them thing there, fam. Because that was literally meant as a threat. And then she said, well, I don't want to get choked in fear. And then he said, yes, you do. That's when he's trying to now take it there. But at the end of the day, bro, fam, what you're saying ain't funny and that, bro, because you know what you meant it as, fam. You know what I mean?
he says
And she
big
knew
black
that as
guy
well.
chokes small white woman. It just seems like an ironic or non-intimidating way to describe that situation. Then again, some look at this as her clearly expressing multiple times that she does not want this, which should have been a signal for him to stop. But where everything does get weird is her demanding money around New Year's of 2025. By this point, she claims to have been assaulted seemingly countless times and is demanding to be paid for intercourse. This is what makes people think that this is a shakedown, and of course has been a basis of Shannon's legal defense. Then again, Shannon's defense made a horrible decision in revealing that they almost settled out of court before anyone knew about this situation. Sharpe's lawyer revealed that he had offered Gabby at least $10 million to settle things privately before the case became public. According to his attorney, Gabriella initially seemed open to the deal, but then, without warning, walked away from our offer. Davis said it was a big surprise to us when suddenly this case was filed without any advanced warning. Many people questioned why Shannon would even offer a settlement that large if he was innocent. Now, legally, settling a lawsuit does not mean a person is...
By the end of the day, though, I think there's enough evidence at the same time, though. Let's say if you didn't do this ish, there's enough evidence out there to say just this being on your name, especially being a big figure, bro, it does a lot of damage, man. So at the same time, even if he was innocent and he didn't do any of this, but the calls are still damning and the text messages still, I can't even lie to you. Guys still book is still... I can't lie to you, but if he actually didn't do all the forcing himself onto these women and R-wording and all that type of stuff, like we've seen it time and time again when men haven't actually done what they've been accused of, but it tarnishes their whole career and that, bro, and they literally have to rebuild, or you know, they just get sent down the gutter and that, fam, you know what I'm saying, and never make it back up.
Advanced warning. Many people questioned why Shannon would even offer a settlement that large if he was innocent. Now, legally, settling a lawsuit does not mean a person is admitting guilt. In fact, most settlements include language that explicitly states the parties are not admitting to any wrongdoing. For many, settling is a way to avoid the stress, time, and massive costs of going to trial. In high-profile cases like this one, it can also be a strategy to avoid media attention and protect reputations. For celebrities, sometimes settling just feels like the faster, cleaner option if they believe they did nothing wrong. But in the court of public opinion, people strongly felt that Shannon essentially admitted guilt when he offered her $10 million.
At the end of the day, on these situations, it's a lose-lose, bro. If you actually didn't do it, if you actually decide to take it to court or decide not to take it to court, like, it's a lose-lose, bro.
Then again, others questioned why Gabby did not take the $10 million. This is the girl that demanded $25K per cheek. Surely $10 million would have been plenty of money, right? And that's when conspiracies arose that potentially this is a much bigger attack on Shannon. Shannon was on the verge of signing a new podcast contract worth over $100 million. That kind of money would have made him one of the highest paid personalities in sports media. It felt like the next big step in his career.
And I clocked as well in that, bro. Like I said, Shannon Sharpe is still a kid. The way he talks about certain relationships and how it's old school and all that type of stuff, bro. Throw that all out the window and them thing. At the end of the day, being with a younger woman isn't an old school or new school thing. It's just a thing, bro. That's been happening from the beginning of time and that, bro. But I realize it doesn't go for grown women because the guy's still a child, and these quote unquote tactics that I'm using on these young girls, it works, bro. You can easily control them, manipulate them. Yeah, you could do that with an older woman, but at the end of the day, a woman that knows herself, has more respect for herself, all of that type of stuff and them thing there, fam. It's much harder to put her in a situation that has got these other younger girls that, fam. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you could do the same to an older woman, but maybe the vast majority is much smaller in which you can do it to an older woman, whereas young girls, there's a lot of vulnerable young girls out there and empty there that don't have shit figured out, don't have the head screwed on and that, bro, in these sort of environments like LA, like Atlanta, where all these celebrities are at and empty there and just being waited to, you get me, taken advantage of basically. So I feel like it's easy for him to be on his F3. That's why he likes the young girls and that, bro. You know what I mean? That's the main reason, whether he realizes it or not type of thing.
Additionally, Gabby's legal representation is led by Tony Busby, who filed a lawsuit on behalf of a woman accusing Diddy of assault, trafficking, and abuse. Additionally, in late 2024, Tony Busby filed a civil lawsuit on behalf of a woman identified as Jane Doe, accusing Jay-Z and Diddy of R-wording her at a 2000 MTV Video Music Awards after party when she was 13 years old. Jay-Z vehemently denied the allegation.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Why the hell is she even at a flipping, what did he say? What award?
Jay-Z and Diddy of R-wording her at a 2000 MTV Video Music Awards after
MTV Music Video Award. Whereas if it's a music video, I guess all ages could be there and that, bro. But at the same time, bro, as a parent and that, fam, just having you in an industry party like that, bro, with bare grown men and them thing there, even if it is a quote unquote environment where children can be, because obviously I guess children used to be on MTV as well, so I'm guessing the award was for all ages type of thing. But still though, man, like you either have to be heavily supervised or just don't go whatsoever. I would just not go, bro. There's too much weird ish that be going on in these industries, bro, to even take you to those places. Even if he or she is successful or like
after party when she was 13 years old. Jay-Z vehemently denied the allegations, labeling them a blackmail attempt. In February of 2025, the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. Subsequently, Jay-Z filed a defamation lawsuit.
Like, this one was too easy and them thing. Yo, that one was too easy, man. No cap, bro. Flipping hell, man.
Against Jane Doe and Busby, alleging that the accusations were knowingly false and malicious, aimed at extorting him and causing significant harm to his reputation and business interests.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second.
Oh, now you want to use the black thing to your advantage. Allow me, man.
That tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Many fans believe that a man who was not guilty would demand for an entire tape of his to be released, especially if it made him look bad. Busby told TMZ Sports that he and his client have zero plans right now to put the footage out to the media. The only reason you know about the existence of a video recording is that Mr. Sharpe specifically referenced it in his bullshit statement. Shannon has remained adamant that his relationship with Gabriella was purely a BDSM one, where the two would meet up for rough about once a week and nothing more. Shortly after the case went public, Sharpe announced his decision to temporarily leave ESPN. However, he still remains active, working on his personal podcast that he owns. Now people are going back and analyzing Shannon's behavior on his shows, claiming that him being so open about his sexual proclivities, fetishes, and love for younger women on talk shows is an indication of guilt behind the scenes.
I broke up with my girlfriend. This was years ago. This was probably about 25 years ago.
Every time you tell a story, it's years ago. I'm thinking this might be recent. This
No,
recent.
that ain't recent. This ain't recent. No, that's 25 years
okay.
ago. And my sister told my grandma.
You said 25, then 45.
Say,
Yeah.
Granny, you know Shannon and such not going together. They not together no more. But you know what it is? You know what my grandma said?
What'd she say?
She wasn't doing her nightly duties.
Ooh. Wait a minute.
That what my granny say. That what my granny say.
Wait, let me sit up because I want. Wait, let me get my note. Let me get my notepad out. What a nightly duty so I can make sure
you know what nightly duties are. Everybody that watching this know what nightly duties are.
This one particular clip of Shannon losing control while discussing an OF model, seemingly out of nowhere, has been resurfaced.
You know who Sky Bree is, Ocho?
Sky Bree? Who that is, Coach?
Oh yeah, because I do remember a year ago, whatever, there was a thing with Shannon Sharpe and Miss B Nasty, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? And everything there, bro. So, yeah, so he does have a thing. Okay, then. It's all starting to kind of loop together and connect together, and you know what I mean?
Hey, Scott, I mean, who is that? Who is that? Help me out.
You know what I'm saying? She little something. You know, she might be famous for vertical activity that she's good at.
Shannon also once shut down his co-host's recommendation for a woman that's religious, has strong values, and could bring balance to his life, but instead he said, "I'm looking for a sinner."
I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. Send me Miss Nasty B. What her name was?
You see? He literally just mentioned her, bruv.
The one that you
Miss
said
Nasty
with
B?
the umbrella?
Miss Nasty.
Yeah.
But what was I even gonna say? In just like little clips like this and that, bruv, you know what I'm saying? Just one-off clips is funny. But now seeing everything and that, bruv, it's like it's not even funny anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't want
funny at
nobody
all.
walking straight and narrow.
Oh, come on.
Nah,
So,
I want a sinner.
listen.
No matter whose side you are on, I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, Shannon had no business as a 57-year-old messing around with a 19 or 20-year-old. It is his actions that got him in this situation. I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, Shannon had no business as a 57-year-old messing around with a 19 or 20-year-old. It is his actions that got him in this situation. Now, is he actually guilty of a crime? Well, now that you have the full context, you can make an informed decision on what you think happened. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for the jury's verdict.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to wait for the jury's verdict anyway, and that, bro, from quote unquote the actual definitive evidence. Well, the text message, I'm not sure because they can be easily altered, but from the voice messages or the voice message or the call that we heard in them thing there and the character that he is with her, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that he actually did all the rest of the ish and that, fam. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, with celebrities, they be having the God complex, the clout, I'm the biggest person in the room, I have the most fame, I have the most money in them thing there, and also the fact that they're in a relationship. It's like all of that mixed around in the brain just completely wipes out that even though someone's your girlfriend, you can still sexually assault her, you can still R-word her, you can still abuse her. You know, it's like sometimes that doesn't compute in their brain. You know what I mean? Or sometimes it does compute, but like I said, because of the fame and the celebrity status and that, they think that they can just disregard it or whatever. So I don't know what it is with this guy. But like I said, from the call that I've heard and from the text messages, if they are real, if it does come out that he did do these certain things, I wouldn't be surprised in that, bruv. And at the end of the day, everyone's opinion in that, bruv. I'm just tired of seeing girls and them thing there, bruv. As they say, sell their souls, the dignity in them thing there, bruv. You know what I mean? Going through a lifetime of trauma. Bruv, what some of these girls go through in a month's time, in a day's time, in a week's time, in a year's time, in a month's time, in 2 years' time is a lifetime worth of trauma, bro. And they do it for the dumbest, most trivial things in life and that, fam. You know what I'm saying? You're literally trying to gain something that's not going to bring you happiness, not going to bring you long-term happiness, not going to bring you long-term anything and them thing there, bro. But then putting a scar on yourself for the rest of your life. And more times you're not even going to deal with it properly, bro. It's so sad to see, man. It's so sad to see in that, fam. I cannot even lie to you in them thing there, bro. Especially in this time. Especially in this time and that, bro. Because it's literally just all over the place. The internet, you see them. OnlyFans, you know, ain't models and them thing there, bruv. All over Twitter, all over every single social media platform, and that every single girl out here chatting about 6-figure this and that, and go into Dubai and get in the doo-doo treatment. And it's not even funny, bro. But bro, it's sad to see, bro, that girls are literally out there, like I said, giving themselves a lifetime's worth of trauma and that, bro, for the most dumbest things in life, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? When money is used correctly in them thing, there, it can do a lot of good and that, bro. But when you put it above everything else, or when you use it to do bad and that, bro, like, yeah. In a bit though, people, man. It's your boy and Jazz, and I'm out of it. Shout out man like Patrick CC and his string vest, you know.